Now we'll discuss about the select where statement. Okay, so in that we already discussed about the select statement which is used to retrieve the data from database. So along with that select statement we need to use where statement. Okay, so select and where are the most fundamental SQL statement and you will find yourself using them often. Okay, so mainly we can say that we can use many times as select and where clause. Okay, so in that section, so is it I am audible now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So most thing is that the select and where statement we can use many times, but we can say that the where is a clause where we provide the condition. Okay, so for example, if you have a database and if you want to retrieve the data from the database and with a certain condition, for example, I have a huge amount of data and I want to retrieve only certain rows. Okay, with certain condition. In that we will use a comparison operator, in that we will use a relational operator and logical operator. We'll discuss about that how we will use the where clause inside the select. Okay, but the mainly statement, the where statement allows us, the main purpose of the where statement is the where statement allows us to specify the condition on column for the rows to be written. That means what? We can apply, we all know that select is used for the table, select all from or select column from, select everything from table. Okay, but we need to apply the condition on column. For example, I want to restrict the data. Suppose I want to restrict, I want to filter the data. So for that purpose I can use where. So it allows us to specify the condition. That means we will add a condition with select. Okay, so when we use a select statement only, in that we can retrieve the all data, we can retrieve the certain column, we can use a bunch of column like c1, c2, c3. Okay, but we did not filter the data. Assume that if your table contains 1000 entries, then by using only select statement we can return 1000 entries. Okay, so but we did not filter that data. So if you want to filter that data, then we will use a where. Filter means what? We need to apply a certain condition. So by using that condition we can filter our data. Okay, so this one is a syntax of select where statements. Okay, so in that where you are using a select, these are the columns, column 1, column 10, column 2 from table name. This is the general query. This is a general query. We already known about that. Select column 1, column 2 from table name. Okay, so we'll add a certain condition where, and we will add the condition. We'll discuss about that what are the conditions are there. Okay, so in that case we will add the condition. So when we collect the data, at that time it will filter the data and it will return the data. Okay, so we can use with asterisk symbol also. Here I'm using a certain columns and here I'm using a whole all attributes of that table. Select all from table where condition. So let's discuss about what is the condition, what are the conditions. So select where, the where clause appears immediately after the form clause of select statement. Okay, that what does it mean? Where clause first it will appears immediately, it will appears after the form clause. We all know that what is the role of form clause. So form clause, it will specify the table, it will specify the table. We all know that we are retrieving the data from the database. So in that database we have a bunch of tables and among that table we need to retrieve the data. So form clause plays important role to specify the table. Okay, so where clause appears immediately after the form clause of select statement. That means it will appear immediately. So the condition are used to filter the rows. The condition are used, why we use the condition? For example, I want to specify the condition, I want to return a data or I want to retrieve a data whose first name is suppose Ravi. Suppose I want to retrieve a data whose salary is greater than 50,000. Okay, so I want only restricted data or I want only filtered data. That's why we will provide the condition. Suppose I want to specify the condition, I want to retrieve a data whose phone number is XYZ. Suppose I want to retrieve a data whose first name is ABC and last name is PQR. So I can able to retrieve the data. Okay, so when I trying to use the retrieve the data without a condition, then in that case we can retrieve all the data. But I don't want to retrieve all data. I want to retrieve only certain amount of data which I provide the condition. So that means मैंने जैसे भी condition provide की है, I can retrieve the data. The PostgreSQL provides a variety of standard operator to construct the condition. Or we can also say that nothing but PostgreSQL. We can say that MySQL or any other vendor also provide the certain amount of condition, because we all know that when we say condition, then two operator will be going on. Or two operator will be focused. So the first one is a relational operator and second one is a logical operator. That means if you want to test only one condition, we will use the relational operator. We already learned in a C language, C++, Java. And if you want to test two or more condition, then we will use a logical operator. So these operator we can use in a where statement. Okay, these operator we can use in a where statement. So what are the operators are there? So first one is a comparison operator. It is also called as a relational operator. So it compares a column value to something. It compares a column values to the something. For example, is the price greater than $3? So I'm trying to compare. So I will give some value. I will give some value and I will check, is the price greater than $3? Also, I will check the name. Is the pet name equals to tiger? So like that, that means it will compare first thing with another thing. So that's why here I say, so compare a column value to something. Compare a column value with something. So we can use a comparison operator. So this is a theoretical part. Don't worry about that. We'll do the practical also, and you will get the more idea. And today we'll cover only where clause, because where clause is the most important. And day after tomorrow we will cover order by and like dislike, or we can say the order by limit is there. After that, lots of operators, lots of clauses are there. We'll cover one by one. Okay, we don't have uh, we do not have any restriction on internship, so we'll cover it in a 15 days, we'll cover it in a 20 days. So don't worry about that. We'll cover whole syllabus, and after that you will get the whole information about the RDBMS, or we can say that DBMS, database management system. So make a note of that. Just understand the concept of where, why we use where. We can say that if someone asks regarding the where statement, where clause, why we use the where clause. So if she or he or if interviewer will ask, so we need to specify the answer. If you want to retrieve the filtered data, restricted data mat कहो उसे. If you want to retrieve the filtered data along with condition by using means what, when we use a condition, then and then we can able to filter the data. So if you want to if you want to retrieve the filtered data along with the condition, then we will use a where clause. So this definition we need to specify to the interviewer. Okay. So again, he will ask when the where clause will appear immediately. So we need to say after the form tag, after the form clause, the where clause will automatically immediately appears. So we need to specify such a types of options. So what are the relational operators as there? We all know that we can use less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, not equal to. Okay, these are the universal operators we can use in C language, C++, Java, Python, and also we can use in a Dbms also. So these are the, we can say that universal operators are there. We are using a lots of time. So we can use in Dbms because see, if you want to provide a condition, the name itself indicates that if you want to provide the condition is nothing but comparison. And if you want to test only one condition, why I'm trying to use one more time, why I'm trying to use, if you want to test only one condition, then and then we can use a relational operator. That means if you want to test two condition, we cannot able to use a relational operator because it cannot combine two conditions at a time, three conditions at a time. So for that reason, it's quite harder. For that reason, it's quite harder. So for that reason, we will use a relational operator to test one condition. Okay. So like who is bigger, A is bigger or B is bigger. So who is equal to, so what will be the value of A and B? does it equal or does it not equal. Okay, who is the first, can I use first value is less than second value, like that stuff we can use. So while doing the practical, so we'll get the idea regarding how we can use the relational operator. Now also we can use the logical operator and make a note of that. These two operators are used in the DBMS. Okay, so we cannot able to use another operator like arithmetic, assignment, bitwise in the DBMS, but we can use a logical operator in that relational logical operator in the DBMS. Okay, rest of operators are not allowed. So first one is and, or, and not. Okay. So just specify that why we use the and where we get the value. Okay. So in that section, if you're trying to use the and operator, if both arguments are true, then it will return the true. Both arguments what? If both conditions are true. Okay. So once one also you can make a note of that. If you want to perform a logical operator, we require a relational operator. If you want to perform a logical operator, we require a relational operator. That means if you want to test two or more condition, if you want to test two or more condition, then we will use logical operator. दो या दो से ज्यादा कंडीशंस आपको टेस्ट करने हैं तो ये हम लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर यूज कर सकते हैं. सो इन दैट लॉजिकल एंड इज देयर, लॉजिकल और इज देयर एंड लॉजिकल नॉट इज देयर. So why we use logical and? So if I trying to provide a two condition and if the both conditions are true, if the both conditions are true, then it will return the, then it will return the value. For example, I want to retrieve the first I want to retrieve the whole data, whole data. Okay, so I want to retrieve whole data of a particular person whose first name is Ravi and whose last name is Ada. Okay, so in that what should I do? I will provide a first name is equals to Ravi and I will use and operator, and after that I will use the last name is equals to Ravi. If we get first name as a Ravi and last name as a Ada, then we can retrieve all the data. Okay, so हम दोनों condition pass करेंगे, रवि की pass करेंगे और आड़ा के, in between two condition we will use and operator. In that case दोनों के दोनों true हो गए तो ही वो data return करेगा, otherwise. So make a note of that. If both arguments are true, then it will return true, otherwise it will not return. Or if at least one argument is a true, then it will true. Okay, so एक true होगा, at least one argument valid होगा, एक condition, argument is nothing but condition, at least one condition is a true, then it will return the data. Okay, so then it will return the data. For example, just I want to retrieve the data like the first name is equals to Ravi or last name is equals to Ada. So in that case, it will find the first name as a Ravi and last name whatever it may be, or otherwise it will find first name as otherwise last name as a Ada. So like that stuff, it will find all the elements. So at least one argument is true, then it will return the data, otherwise it does not return the data. Third condition not operator is there, so it will it is quietly easy, it will the reversal of given output. For example, our condition represents true, then when we use a not operator it will get false. Okay, we'll do the practical, हम practical के time पे करेंगे. So like ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं, if you want to retrieve the data whose name is not equal to, or not whose name is not equal to, we can say that Ravi. तो जितने भी रिकॉर्ड्स है उसके अंदर रवि नहीं रहेगा. सो लाइक दैट हम जैसे जैसे कंपैरिजन ऑपरेटर और लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर परफॉर्म करेंगे, यू विल गेट वी विल गेट अ मोर आइडिया रिगार्डिंग अ DBMS and we can able to perform. See, in that section, from this section we already learn about the count, we learned already learn about the distinct, we already learn about the select. Okay, so इसके बारे में हमने बहुत पढ़ा है. Now we are trying to learn about the where clause. Okay, so in that section these clauses are play, these clauses play most important role. These clauses play most important role. So do more practice, do more practice. और ये कैसा है, जब तक प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो तब तक ही याद रहता है. जैसे प्रैक्टिस लाइक लिनक्स बंद हो गई तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर नहीं हो जाते, सो फिर जो है उसे पढ़ना पड़ता है. सो मेक अ नोट ऑफ दैट, यू नीड टू डू द प्रैक्टिस. So let's solve the problem. So first of all, we'll discuss by using a theoretical part and later on we'll start the pgAdmin. Okay. So for that reason, first of all, I will start the pgAdmin. So it does not take a time. in the background. Don't worry about it. So consider this table, name and choices. So I have a table. Assume that the name is a, PES table, or we can say that different kinds of table is there. So in that I have name attribute and I have a choice attribute. So let's consider the table if user want to retrieve the name and choice with as condition as name is equals to Ravi. Suppose just I will illustrate this statement, or I will simplify this statement. Suppose if user wants to retrieve the all data. Suppose I have only two attributes. All data means what? Two attributes. Suppose user wants to retrieve the all data. In that case, whose name is Ravi, then retrieve the data. So in that case, I have a duplicate data in the name attribute. Okay, in the name attribute, I have a duplicate data. Suppose Ravi is there and another Ravi is there. And the choice of Ravi is the first black, and later on the choice of Ravi is a red. So in that case, we have two different choices. Okay, for a single person. And I want to retrieve which data? I want to retrieve all the data whose name is equals to Ravi. So what do you think that? How will create? So we'll create a query. So that means what will be the expected answer? The expected answer will be what? One is a Ravi, second will be the Ravi, and Ravi after black and Ravi after red. So this is the expected answer. So what will be the hint we need to use? Hint, we need to check the table, we need to check the attribute, and we need to apply the logic of select and where. So this will be my help. Okay, so this will be the hint, and we already discussed how to solve the problem, like business situation question. Later on we'll provide an expected answer, later on we'll provide the what do we say, hint, and later on we'll provide the solution. ऐसे ही हम work करते हैं. So we get the output as what? Ravi black and Ravi red. So what will be the solution guys? So I will use what? Select name comma choice. These are the column names. Either you can use name comma choice, either you can use asterisk symbol, because I have only two tables. Select name comma choice or select asterisk symbol from table name, whatever it may be. Right now I don't have a table name, so I will use a table name. So select name comma choice from table name. Okay, where 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 the clause name, where the attribute name, that means name, where is equals to, okay, where name is equals to Ravi, and that string will be enclosed within a single quote, because it is a string. Make a note of that. If you want to use a string, that must be enclosed with a single quote. Okay, so that means select name comma choice from table name where name is equals to Ravi. Make a note of that. This Ravi name. So यहाँ मैंने जो Ravi लिखा है, and database के अंदर जो Ravi है, ये different kinds of Ravi है. So we get the zero result if we did not follow the कैपिटलाइजेशन रूल. सो अगर मेरे डेटाबेस में कैपिटल लेटर्स है तो मुझे कैपिटल लेटर्स ही फाइंड करना पड़ेंगे. अगर मेरे पास स्मॉल लेटर्स है तो स्मॉल है. सी व्हाइल यूजिंग द कॉलम नेम, व्हाइल यूजिंग द क्लॉजेस, अगर हम कैपिटल और स्मॉल लिखते हैं तो चलता है, बट व्हेन वी रिट्रीव द डेटा and will provide a certain condition, in that case we cannot use the concept of small case and capital case. So we can use the always capital as a capitalization and small as a small. So that means we need to use a capitalization rule. So here we need to, by mistaken I taken a RAVI. So here we need to use R, capital A, capital V and capital I. So we get the result. So see, check out the solution. Select name comma choice from table name where name is equals to Ravi. So here is a column name, and this column name is a capital. We can accept, we can अप्लाई दिस रूल. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. ये ऐसे चलता है कि अगर कॉलम का नेम डिफरेंट है, दैट मीन स्मॉलर केस एंड अपर केस है, तो ओके, बट उसके आगे का जो नेम है ना, ये गलत है. दैट मस्ट बी विद इन अ सिंगल कोड एंड दैट मस्ट बी अ कैपिटल लेटर. ओके, सो आप परफॉर्म करोगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा, और ये छोटी छोटी बातें ही आगे चल के आपको big thing, or we can say that big vision, or we can say that different kinds of database design create करने के लिए help कर सकते हैं. See, we already know that how we will create a database design. We don't know about that. Even we didn't understand. We didn't. understand the concept of this SQL statement, why we need that. Okay, see, so once we created the database by using a database design, we need to perform certain operation. For example, alter table, update table, insert table, retrieve table. So if you want to become a DBA, so you need to perform this task repeatedly, daily basis पे करना पड़ेगा. जैसे मैनेजर ने बताया, I want data of all customer, I want data of employee, I want data of salary. So like that stuff we need to provide as a being a DBA administrator, we need to provide that. And a DBA administrator also have a greater packages. We can say that 4 lakh, 5 lakh per annum as a starting. So you will get that job. So for that reason, you need to do the practice. So every time I taught you, I taught every time I say, whenever we required to apply any certain company, we required to know all the information of that language. If, for example, you are applying for the DBA, database administrator, so in that case, you must know how to create database design. You must know what is a normalization. You must know what is a relationship. You must know how will create the relational database, how will create the database, how will create the tables, columns, rules, regulation, where everything you must know. And if you know that, then they happily give a package. Okay, so आपको जैसे पैकेज चाहिए वो happily दे सकते हैं. अब just कंपनी में ज्वाइन करना इम्पोर्टेंट होता है स्टार्टिंग फेज में. If you get the 2 lakh package, if you get the 3 lakh package, doesn't matter. So if you get a 1 year experience in any company, that means आप किसी भी कंपनी में पैकेज बढ़ा के ले सकते. So don't worry about that. Just do the practical what I said. So that's why here I say in the hint section I can use a capitalization letter. So that means here I did not pass Ravi. Instead of that Ravi, I will pass RAVI, capital RVI, capital letters. Okay. So let's think. Let's check your imagination parts and we'll do practical also. Don't worry about that. So we'll do practical. So in that section, just imagine if user wants to retrieve the name and choice with a certain condition as name is equals to Ravi and color is equals to. What do you think that? So does anyone know that answer? If yes, then let me know.
Yes, sir. We can use using AND operator.
Okay, so can you specify the query? Swapnil.
Uh, select all from select all from table name
Hmm.
where name is equal to Ravi and choice is equal to black.
Choice equals to red. Okay. So the query was right. Don't worry about that. Instead of red, आपने black बता दिया. Don't worry about that. So the solution was right. Okay. So like that, we need to imagine. Like that, we need to think. So according to the problem, we need to analyze. और ये DBA का बहुत बड़ा concept है कि इनके अंदर जितना imagination करोगे like a programming. So don't think that कि इसके अंदर programming नहीं होती. इसके अंदर programming की जगह queries होती है. So that queries will be totally depend on the imagination. If you didn't understand the image, the concept, if we didn't find ourselves as a uh, key person, then we cannot able to find the data. Okay, so that means we need to imagine each and every time. For example, if someone asks about a data, we started the thinking. So this is your problem. This is a problem. You need to retrieve the data whose name is Ravi and whose color choice is, that means color choice is red. Okay, so inside that, in the inside that, so we need to fire a query. What? See, select name and choice. He said that all. So because we have only two tables, we have only two tables. So name choice from table name where name is equals to Ravi. When name is equals to Ravi, but is it a valid? So I said it is not valid. Why? Because here capitalization rule is not followed. Capitalization rule is not followed. If this Ravi smaller, this one is a smaller case. Okay, if this smaller case will available in this database or this column, then it is a valid, because in DB the capital letters are there and in attribute name the small letters are there. So you did not get any data. You did not get any data. So make a note of that. So जो भी retrieve कर रहे हैं वो database के अंदर होना चाहिए. That's it. जो भी रिट्राइव कर रहे हैं वो डेटाबेस के अंदर होना चाहिए. सो लेट्स थिंक नाउ विल डू द ऑपरेशंस. ओके, सो हम अब ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट करेंगे पीजी एडमिन्स के. सो डिड यू नो अबाउट द पीजी एडमिन? व्हाट इज द पीजी एडमिन? Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
What is a pgAdmin? Does anyone know about that? Why we use pgAdmin? What is the role of pgAdmin? Don't know? Since I joined. Girish, Gitika, Mayuri, Om. You don't know why we use pgAdmin? Pratik, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Why we use pgAdmin, Pratik?
Sir, it provides an interface for
Which-
Postgres.
Okay, it provide an interface, but which interface? It provide a graphical user interface to the
Yes,
Postgres
sir.
SQL. You must understand that it provide the graphical. If the pgAdmin didn't provide that, then we cannot able to check all the tables at a time. We need to check by using the we firing that query, select all from the table like that stuff. Okay, let's do that. The next task, suppose a user wants to find full information whose name is Smith. Whose name is Smith. Okay, we can say that first name or last name. Okay, so I don't know about that table, so that for that I use a word whose first name hoga ya last name hoga, whatever it may be. I don't know because I have a database. I know that, but Smith नाम का बंदा है क्या नहीं होगा. मैंने I did a practical on that, but first name है क्या last name, just forgot about that. Okay, so suppose user wants to find the information whose name is Smith. So what do you think that? Where we get the information in pgAdmin? Which table we need to use? First of all, we need to check the tables. I think we have a customer table, and in that we get the information about that. See, whenever we start, it will be loaded. Okay. So we are using a PS college, I think. And in that section, just I want to use the tables. Here are the elementary we don't use. There's a customer is there, and inside that columns. Okay, so inside that we can fire a query. Customer name, first name is there, last name is there. Okay, so and these are the other attributes are there. So just we need to use this table. So you will get the idea regarding the query. So what is your query? So just will break the query if didn't understand the concept. Suppose user wants to find full information whose name is spin. So first of all, we'll retrieve the all elements of customer table, and after that we'll add the query. So that means we'll divide the query. We'll divide the query. So here I will use. ठीक है, ये प्रैक्टिस होने के बाद में डिवाइड करने की जरूरत नहीं. Select all का ही रूल है. All from customer. So let's do that. We get all the data of customer. Yeah, we get all the data. So also this is the concept. See अभी ये top में 524 दिखा रहा है like that. So इसके लिए भी एक concept है order by बोल के order by. So in the next we will do that the order by. Okay, so ये ascending order में नहीं है, descending order भी नहीं है. So like that if you want to retrieve the data in ascending order as a column wise, descending order as a column wise, then we need to use a order by. So we'll cover this point. So just मुझे 524 की वजह से याद आया, because top उसके नीचे 1 2 3 है, but top में ही 524 है customer ID. So इसकी वजह से. So now just we'll revise the query. What is the question? Suppose you want to suppose user wants to find full information whose name is a Smith. Okay, whose name is a Smith. So we have two options. Either we can use a first name or either we can use a last name. I don't know about that. So here we will pass a condition where clause where first underscore name is equals to first underscore name is equals to. Okay, let's do the practical. Click on that. So what is that first name? Okay, here we did a mistake. So in that we need to use while passing the string we need to use a single quote. Okay, so that's why here asking select all from the customer first name and Smith. Okay, so we get the error. So he thought that this one is a column. Okay, so that's why. So we retrieve the table. See, successfully run total queries. So a table to run ho gaya, but we don't have a data. Okay, that means we didn't find a name in the first name in the Smith. Smith हमें first name में नहीं मिला. So just check out for the last name. Last. Yeah, we get that. See, Mary Smith is the name is available, and in that the customer ID is one, store ID is one, first name is Mary, last name is Smith, and this one is the email address of Mary. After that, address, active view, current date, last update, like that. Okay, so we get that all data. We get that all data. Okay, so like that we can solve the queries. Okay, so we did the solution and we find that, see, we find the Mary Smith. I already given the PPT. Okay, but I didn't want to share this PPT because आप practical नहीं करते हो फिर. Okay, so you need to do the practical. After that, using a customer ID, for example, just I want to share the information here. What is the question? Using a customer ID, I want to find the information. Okay, we all know that this, see, the customer ID is there. For example, I want to retrieve the data whose customer ID is 100. Okay, whose customer underscore ID is equals to 100. Now this is the integer. ID is integer, so in that case ID है, sorry, integer है, तो आपको डबल कोट में पास करने की जरूरत नहीं. Just make a note of that in where condition. Okay, if it is a string, then and then we can able to pass in double quote, sorry, single quote. Okay, then and then we can pass in single quote. So click on that. See, we get the customer ID as 100 and we get the Robin his. And why we give to a single record? Because we are applying this concept on primary key. We are applying the concept on primary key. See, PK is there. So what is a PK? PK does not allow, primary key does not allow redundant data. Primary key does not allow the redundant data. So whenever we retrieve the customer ID concept, so you will get only unique record. Okay. So let's do another example. See, now you need to provide a solution for me. Suppose like that, आपको ही बताना है any of them. Okay, so if you want to specify the answer, you can. So suppose user wants to find out a customer who did payment is equals to 7.99. मुझे यूजर को सब ऐसे कस्टमर चाहिए जिन्होंने प्रोडक्ट परचेस करते समय पेमेंट किया है $7.99. ये पेमेंट किया है, दैट मीन्स व्हाट, ये कहाँ मिलेगा? ये टेबल कस्टमर भी चाहिए, कस्टमर की इंफॉर्मेशन भी चाहिए और इसका पेमेंट जितना किया है 7.99 वो भी चाहिए. ओके, सो हाउ विल डू दैट? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी नीड टू चेक द टेबल. सो यहाँ मुझे टेबल देखने पड़ेंगे. How many tables we have? I will use that. So here we have a payment table. See, we have a payment table. Click on the payment table. We'll click on the column. So see, customer ID is there. So we'll get the customer ID. Also, we get the amount. Amount is there. Okay. So first of all, what I will retrieve the all elements of payment. Okay. So मुझे थोड़ा सा information मिलेगा. So here, what should I on? What about the where clause? Just we will retrieve the data. I get the payment. So in that payment ID, customer ID is there, and this amount is there. So amount section. So now what should I do here? I will pass the select all instead of all. I want to data which I want customer ID only, and separation by comma, and I want amount. Just two things required, customer ID and amount from payment. Now I will pass the question. I will pass the query. Where what amount where amount is greater than equals to where amount is greater than equals to 7.9. यही क्वेरी है ना मेरी. See, suppose user wants to find out a customer who did a payment is equals to 7.99. So is equals to here, not greater than equals to. That means here I need to use equals to is equals to 7.9. Okay, so just execute it. See, we get the output. कितने जन ने 7.9999 किया है. So we have this such amount of data. And if you want to count, so just let's here also I will replace it. Provide. So asterisk symbol पास करो, कस्टमर आईडी पास करो और अमाउंट पास करो. व्हाट रेट में भी हमने ये पढ़ा है पिछली बार कि एक एट्रीब्यूट जस्ट पास करना है, एस्टिक करो या कुछ भी करो. क्लिक ऑन दैट, गेट द आउटपुट at the 621 entries. So ये जो हमने पिछला पढ़ा है ना, काउंट हमने सीखा है, डिस्टिंक्ट हमने सीखा है, तो ये रिवाइज करते चलेगा. क्या करना है? रिवाइज करते चलेगा. So कोई इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी. Sure. We did the practical and we got the concept also. So here we get the output. Now another. If user wants to count a customer who did a payment, अभी हमने यही परफॉर्म किया है. User wants to count. अगर यूजर को काउंट करना है तो हमने काउंट डाला था और वही आउटपुट आया था हमारा 621. So we already did this practical. Okay. So just we need to pass customer ID, we need to pass amount, we need to pass asterisk symbol, whatever it may be. Okay. So we get the same out. Now, suppose user wants to find out a customer who did payment in between 599 and 799. Now, what do you think that? So I want answer. Kita, what do you think that? Did we get the result? Any other
Yes, sir.
student? Yes, who's this? What is your good name?
Radhesham, sir.
Radhesham, just specify the query. What result? So what will be the solution?
Select customer ID from payment where amount equals to 7.99 and 5.99.
We need to use AND operator inside that, because see, does we require to use AND operator? Because we have two different conditions. See, this is the section payment. In that case, just we need to retrieve the data, or just we need to check the payment option. So what is the question? Just he wants to retrieve the amount or customer ID. Okay, customer ID is required. कितने ऐसे customer है और amount is required. कि जिनकी पेमेंट 5.99 से आगे है और 7.99 के नीचे है. So that means definitely we can use the AND operator inside that. So here just we need to use, I will remove it and I will use customer underscore ID, comma, after that from payment where, now where amount is. So here we need to specify the condition and we need to use amount is, here I will use greater than equal to 5.99, and after that I will use AND clause, amount is lesser than equal to 7, अमाउंट 5.99 के ऊपर चाहिए and amount is lesser than 7. So each and every time it will check 6 5.99 and 7.99 के नीचे, yes, then it will print, otherwise it will not print. Let's check out that, so we get that data. How many rows affected? 2 8 3 1. So total इतने rows है कि जिनकी payment in between है. सो ऐसे ही आपको इमेजिनेशन करके चलना है, सॉल्यूशन परफॉर्म करना है, खुद से ही प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करना है, खुद ही सॉल्यूशन देना है. तो ही इम्पोर्टेंट है, कुछ तो मीनिंग है इसका, अदरवाइज नहीं. Suppose user wants to account of movie whose rating is restricted and PG style range. Suppose user wants to count the movie. Okay, अब ये इसका सॉल्यूशन कौन बताएगा कि इसको ना डेटा नहीं चाहिए, इसको काउंट चाहिए. और क्या चाहिए कि जिसकी रेटिंग आर और पीजी है. ओके, सो फॉर दैट वी नीड टू चेक द फिल्म टेबल चेक करना पड़ेगा, और फिल्म टेबल के अंदर जिनकी रेटिंग्स आर और है या समथिंग, जस्ट जो उसकी उसकी रेटिंग्स आर और पीजी से फाइंड आउट होना चाहिए. मतलब आइदर आर होना चाहिए, रेस्ट्रिक्टेड होना चाहिए, PG-13 होना चाहिए. दैट मीन्स चाइल्ड होना चाहिए अबव 13. दैट मीन्स PG-13. ये मैंने पिछली बार भी बोला था कि ये मोशन पिक्चर एसोसिएशन है, उनकी रेटिंग से. सो कोई बता सकता है क्या करना पड़ेगा? सो assume that this one is a problem. So how will resolve this? You need to apply the logic of select. You need to apply the logic of count. Okay. You need to apply the logic of where. Okay. After that, you need to use a table film. You need to check the attribute of films or columns of films in that rating is there. So whose rating is R और PG-13. मतलब एक तो R होना चाहिए, नहीं तो PG होना चाहिए. किसी के पास सॉल्यूशन है इसका? मुझे थोड़ा सा क्वाइट हार्ड लग रहा है, ये मुझे नहीं आएगा. Does anyone know? Does anyone know this? आहे कमी है,
Sir,
कर दे. स्वप्निल.
sir, in that we have to use OR operator.
See, whenever we think that they require the both condition, the both conditions needs to be satisfied, then we use the and at least one के अंदर और होता है. So that means they require RB or PGB. So just we can use what? We will use retrieve the data, that means all, select all, or we can say that select count in round bracket all from table name what film. Okay, table name film where rating is equals to single quote R or rating is equals to single quote PG-13. So this one is a solution. Select count asterisk symbol from film where a rating is equals to in single quote R or rating is equals to single quote PG. So इसका काउंट चाहिए. ओके, सो इसे ब्रेक करके चेक करते हैं कि हम राइट पाथ से जा रहे हैं कि नहीं. Okay. So here what should I do? I don't want to use count. Okay, so I will remove this, and before that film table check करना कि rating है क्या नहीं. जाएंगे हम rating. So what should I do? Select all from film. So this one is a part one. Okay, so हम query कैसे break करते हैं और resolve करते कैसे जाते हैं. So yeah, we get that data. Trying to get the data. Yeah. So here film title description is there. Under release year, language, rental duration, rental rate, length, replacement. Thing is there. Rating is there. See different kinds of rating. R is there. PG-13, PG. So that means what will restrict only rating. Select rating from film. So now this one is a phase 2. So we get the rating. Now we'll apply the data. Okay, so we have 1000 rows. So here we apply the data where, okay, where rating is equals to in single quote. So यहाँ देखना अपने लेफ्ट साइड में कितने रोज अफेक्ट होते हैं, मतलब कितना डेटा रिट्रीव हुआ. सी 195 रोज अफेक्टेड. ओके, सो यहाँ रेटिंग इज इक्वल्स टू आर लिखा है. अब यहाँ मैं लिखता हूँ और rating is equals to pg-13. So now check out. Earlier it was a 195. Now I'm trying to use. See how many rows are affected. 412. So that means इसके अंदर only R और PG होगा, otherwise कुछ भी नहीं होगा. अब इसका काउंट चाहिए उसको. अब इसका काउंट चाहिए. क्यूरी में ये बोला है. So after that I will apply the logic. See इसलिए डिपेंडेंट थिंग्स करते चलो, मतलब कि मेन क्यूरी को डिवाइड करो और just trying to execute the queries. See how many count is there? 418. Let's check out about the queries. 418. See, we get that 418. Okay, so this is the solution. Now, suppose if user wants to count of movie whose rating is not R. ये नहीं फंडा है कि जिसका रेटिंग नॉट आर, उसका काउंट चाहिए उसको. okay, जिसके अंदर आर नहीं चाहिए. दैट मीन्स रेस्ट ऑफ ऑल थिंग्स विल बी अलाउड विदाउट आर. सो इसको भी डिवाइड करके करना है तो कर सकते हैं, बट राइट नाउ just I will show you. Here I will use just not. Okay. So and I will remove the count also. I will remove the count also. Okay. So just I will execute that. See, अब इसके अंदर ना R नहीं दिखाई देगा आपको. मैं दिखाने के लिए आपको ये कर रहा हूँ. So not, यहाँ मैंने not already rating not equal to R. So यहाँ आपको R कभी नहीं दिखाएगा. और अब इसे काउंट करते हैं. जैसे जैसे लॉजिक आपका दिमाग चलता है. 805 बिकॉज आर के 195 थे, सो इसलिए टोटल रिकॉर्ड्स 1000 है, तो उस माइनस करने के बाद 805 ही आता है. ओके, मेरा ध्यान था इसकी वजह से समझ में आया मुझे. सो वी गेट द आउटपुट एज 805. ओके, चैलेंज. अब ये चैलेंज मुझे आपसे कंप्लीट करके चाहिए आज ही. ओके, सो जस्ट आई विल इलस्ट्रेट. अभी इसके अंदर ना मैंने बिजनेस क्वेश्चन और क्वेश्चन को एक ही इसके अंदर डाला है, मतलब बिजनेस सिचुएशन को भी और क्वेश्चन को भी वन बाय वन डाला है. तो आपको फाइंड आउट क्या करना है. जस्ट यू नीड टू फाइंड आउट द फर्स्ट एक्सपेक्टेड आंसर. थर्ड sorry, first one the business situation, this one is a business situation, this one is a question. Third part will be the expected answer, fourth part will be the hint, and fifth part will be the solution. So ये मुझे आपसे चाहिए. Okay, so these are the two challenges. ये मैंने दो चैलेंज बनाए आपके लिए, और ये मुझे each and every student से चाहिए, और वो आज ही चाहिए. Okay, so and on my personal WhatsApp number, ग्रुप पे भी नहीं चाहिए मुझे. It is mandatory to all student. Okay, so what is the challenge? I will share that challenge with you. Okay, a customer forgot their wallet. customer forgot their wallet at our store. Okay, अपने स्टोर में कस्टमर ने वॉलेट भूल गया. We need to track down their email to inform them. क्या करना है, उसे इन्फॉर्म करना है, उसे ईमेल करना है. सो वॉलेट बोल रहा है मतलब वॉलेट के अंदर डॉक्यूमेंट होगी. डॉक्यूमेंट से आपको नाम पता चलेगा और नाम से आपको ईमेल आईडी पता चलेगा. ये रूल होता है. Okay. So whatever it may be in that wallet, there is a license, there will be a voter ID, whatever it may be. Yes, this is the business situation. So what is the email of the customer with the name Nancy Thomas? Why we use the Nancy Thomas? क्यों यहाँ यूज किया है? Because wallet के अंदर डॉक्यूमेंट था, डॉक्यूमेंट के ऊपर नैन्सी थॉमस था. So this one is your question. This one is your question. This one is your business solution. Okay. So आपको क्या करना है डिसाइड करो. ये कस्टमर से मिलेगा या पेमेंट से मिलेगा. Just you need to check all attributes of table and I want this answer. Okay. So this one is the first. So you can snap that. आपके मोबाइल या मोबाइल ये प्रतीक स्नैप काढून घे याचा and just share it on group. Okay, this is challenge. Second challenge, a customer want to know what the movie Outlaw Hanky is about. एक कस्टमर को वो मूवी के बारे में पता नहीं है. The movie name is Outlaw Hanky and he wants a description. उसके उसके लिए उसको क्या चाहिए, डिस्क्रिप्शन चाहिए. तो उसके लिए आपको ना उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन दिखाना है. सो कुड यू गिव डिस्क्रिप्शन फॉर द मूवी आउटलॉ हैंकी. सो ये रियल टाइम में एप्लीकेशन बता रहा हूँ, ऐसे ही काम होते. ओके, सो जस्ट यू हैव टू परफॉर्म दिस टू टास्क. दो टास्क परफॉर्म कर लो. सो निकाला होगा या जस्ट आई नीड टू प्रोवाइड दैट. स्नैपशॉट निकाला है किसी ने? ओके, आई विल डू दैट.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no issue. Just I will take the attendance. After that, we'll close the session.